Welcome back to the AI Daily Brief. Today we are talking nominally about a product demo that has a lot of people talking, both literally and figuratively. The product is called Sesame, and some are even saying that this is the GPT-3 moment for voice AI. Beyond just talking about Sesame, however, I wanted to use this as a chance to check in on the state of voice agents. There has been an incredible explosion of voice-based platforms. Indeed, even Superintelligent has rebuilt our main product offering to be anchored by a voice agent that can conduct infinitely scalable interviews across entire organizations to help them understand where their AI and agent opportunities lie. So obviously, because of that, this is an area that we've been thinking about a lot. So what we're going to do today is talk first about Sesame, this demo that has people so interested and excited, and then we'll broaden out to the larger conversation of voice agents more generally. Is this the next great computing platform? Or are we underestimating just how much of a change speaking to computers as our primary way of interacting really is? Let's get to Sesame first. Over the weekend, if you were on Twitter/X, you might have seen people dropping demos of what seemed like a really impressive new voice model. Here's an example from Professor Ethan Malik.
Hey there. Another face in the digital crowd. Well, so to speak. Fancy meeting you here.
What do you mean by digital crowd?
Oh, just riffing. It's a figure of speech. Kind of like a party, but online. What's your name?
So hold on, what's your name first?
You got me there. I guess introductions are customary. Name's Maya. It's a pleasure.
And so what do you do for a living, Maya?
Living is a strong word.
Let's flip over to one of the demos that the company themselves shared just for a second to get a different context.
Let's imagine I just found you in a Twitter thread. Can you guide me through a bit of a meditation?
Okay, close your eyes if you're comfortable. Take a deep breath in and slowly exhale. Let go of any tension in your shoulders, your jaw, wherever you hold it.
Okay. Can you also reference what I've been doing on Twitter in a bit of a comedic way?
Okay, so picture yourself stepping away from that glowing rectangle. You know, the one with all the hot takes and carefully curated outrage. Let it fade for a moment. Just let it be.
Professor Malik writes, the new AI voice from Sesame really is a powerful illustration of where AI is going. He pointed out that in the demo that he shared, it was all real time from his browser. He writes, excellent use of disfluencies, pauses, even intakes of breath really make this seem like a human, though bits of uncanniness remain for now. Pliny the Liberator writes, all right, Sesame is by far the most AGI-feeling voice model I've interacted with yet. They absolutely cooked. Chubby writes, I agree with Pliny. This is the first feel the AGI moment for AI voice mode for me. If this would be the new Siri or Alexa, I would treat it as a real human being as it sounds so natural. And we have to remember this is the worst it will ever be. Entrepreneur Murillo Pereira writes, this is incredible. The voice sounds so natural and the replies are so fast. Maybe too fast? It was even able to pronounce my name, which isn't super common. Better conversationalist than many humans. Signal writes, my lord, the Sesame voice AI is absolutely effing insane. I knew it was artificial. I knew there wasn't a real person on the other end. And yet I still felt like I was talking to a person. I felt the same social pressure, the same awkwardness when I hesitated, the same discomfort when I misspoke. It wasn't just convincing, it worked on me in a way I didn't expect. I used to think I'd be immune to this. Menlo's Didi Das sums up, this is the GPT-3 moment for voice AI, the movie Her. Everything we had before was turn by turn, robotic, emotionless with no human tics. This, as Didi points out, is something very different. Now, in terms of some of the details, one of the big innovations that's almost going a little underappreciated is that the voice model is actually extremely small. Sesame trained the model on approximately 1 million hours of audio, but managed to bake it down into a 1 billion parameter model with a 100 million parameter decoder. They also produced a 3B and an 8B model, which suggests this level of voice assistant will be very cheap and likely able to run on local devices. Tosh wrote, the cost of speech-to-speech is going to zero once Sesame open sources the weights. Sesame, which was co-founded by Oculus co-founder Brandon Uribe, has also committed to releasing the model under the Apache 2.0 commercial use license. So what then is their play? Is this a competitor, for example, to 11 Labs? In point of fact, Sesame is actually going for something different. Their webpage reads, bringing the computer to life. We believe in a future where computers are lifelike. They will see, hear, and collaborate with us the way we're used to. A natural human voice is key to unlocking this future. And so to get there, they write they have two goals. The first is a personal companion, which they describe as an ever-present brilliant friend and conversationalist, keeping you informed and organized, helping you be a better version of yourself. And second, and this is where the product vision comes in, lightweight eyewear, designed, they say, to be worn all day, giving you high-quality audio and convenient access to your companion who can observe the world alongside you. So in terms of why Sesame could think about just giving away what seems like such a big innovation, it's because they're playing a very different type of game. And the fact that they do have this other business model, which potentially allows them to open source what they've built, has some real implications for other companies in the space. Developer Adil Mania experimented with Sesame and immediately thought about all of the applications and use cases that something like this could open up. He wrote, "It's way more human than ChatGPT Advanced Voice Mode. I would clearly prefer to talk to such a voice about my problems than a psychologist. I would clearly prefer practicing my English with her than a teacher or Duolingo." Now, obviously not everyone will feel the same, but I think that the broader point that every increase in the capabilities of voice AI opens up new use cases and opportunities is absolutely true. And that gets us to the broader state of AI voice and specifically AI voice agents. In a recent report by Andreessen Horowitz partner Olivia Moore, she wrote, "Voice is one of the most powerful unlocks for AI application companies. It is the most frequent and most information-dense form of human communication, made programmable for the first time due to AI. For enterprises, AI directly replaces human labor with technology. It's cheaper, faster, more reliable, and often outperforms humans. Voice agents also allow businesses to be available to their customers 24/7 to answer questions, schedule appointments, or complete purchases. Customer availability and business availability no longer have to match one-to-one. With voice agents, every business can always be online." And here's where the big pronouncements start to come. Moore writes, "For consumers, we believe voice will be the first and perhaps the primary way people interact with AI. This interaction could take the form of an always available companion or coach, or by democratizing services such as language learning that were previously inaccessible." And importantly, she writes, as models improve, voice will become the wedge, not the product. And indeed, there are so many products. One just needs to look at the B2B voice agents market map that they include to see how companies are using voice for just all sorts of different applications. Of course, there's customer service, the category that you probably think of most when it comes to voice agents. But then there's also voice agents for sales, voice agents for finance, voice agents for training, logistics, research, recruiting, and then also agents that are verticalized by industry rather than function. Home services, restaurants, auto dealers, real estate, and a heck of a lot of healthcare. On the consumer side, there's a ton happening in edtech. There's some interesting experiments on therapy. Plus, there are the general experiments with companions and assistants. The report points out that since 2020, Y Combinator has seen 90 voice agent companies. And as you might imagine, this has only accelerated over the last year. And interestingly, if you look back, 2024 really was the key building year to enable voice agents in so many different ways. OpenAI debuted GPT-4o Voice in May of 2024 and began rollout of advanced voice mode in July of 2024. In September, Notebook LM started to go viral with its audio overviews. And then in October, OpenAI launched the real-time API for developers. A lot of the early wedges are in doing the same stuff that's available now with humans, just at times or in ways that wouldn't make sense at human prices. So for example, after hours or overflow calls, net new outbound calls and sales, and back office calls that aren't customer facing. Even as these voice agents roll out right now, you still have the behavior of people desperately trying to get to a human customer service worker instead, as soon as they recognize that they're talking to AI. And so the question becomes, does Sesame as an update fundamentally change that? Alex Carlson argues that while this might feel like another incremental improvement, it actually represents what he calls a paradigm shift in how we'll perceive and interact with technology. He continues, "Unlike traditional text-to-speech systems that generate audio from pre-written text, Sesame's conversational speech model processes language in prosody, a fancy word for rhythm, allowing for real-time adjustments including natural hesitations, interruptions, and emotional inflections." And there's some early evidence that this more human style of voice mode could really make a difference in how voice agents actually behave. Entrepreneur John McCrea writes, "A sign of how powerful Sesame's platform is, 2 or 3 times now, my conversation with Maya was so engaging that it was in danger of going over the 30-minute time limit. And when she said she had to go, I felt like I was being abandoned." Some are even warning of negative social implications. Jiku Jose writes, "Imagine generative avatars with Sesame-like audio running locally on your phone. Almost every teenager's first relationship is going to be an AI then. Real relationships, let alone marriages, are going to nosedive in the next 5 years. This will be the most fundamental change to humanity in all of history." I think it's quite hard to predict changes to fundamental human paradigms like that. But what's for sure is that voice agents were already primed to be one of the most important themes of 2025. And the fact that we are now just at the beginning of the 3rd month of that year and seeing what is potentially a major change and upgrade to the underlying voice models that those platforms run on might just accelerate that trend even more. I'm interested to know from you guys, have you interacted yet with any voice agents? How have they been? Are you hyper aware the whole time that you're talking to AI? And if you are, does that bother you? Let me know in the comments either on Spotify or YouTube, and we will continue watching this trend play out. For now, though, that's going to do it for today's AI Daily Brief. Until next time, peace